Welcome to the session on savings function from the unit Income and Employment Determination. In this session, I'll be discussing the relation between income, consumption, and savings. Then we'll move on to the savings function, its definition, derivation of linear savings function from linear consumption function, features of the saving curve with the help of a diagram, marginal propensity to save, and break-even point. We have already discussed the consumption function in detail and are familiar with the equation y is equal to C plus S. That is, income is the sum of consumption and savings, where y is income, C is consumption, and S is savings. This equation shows the relation between income, consumption, and savings. From the above equation, we derive that S is equal to Y minus C. So, savings is expressed as the difference between income and consumption. In other words, savings is simply that part of income which is not consumed. Let's understand the savings function. Savings function is the functional relation between income and savings. S is a function of Y, where S is savings and Y is income. As income increases, savings of the households also increase, along with increase in consumption. So we can establish a direct relation between income and savings and say that savings is an increasing function of income. Now it is simple to derive the linear savings function from the linear consumption function. We start with the basic equation y is equal to C plus S, then substitute the equation of C in the above equation and solve it for S. So S is minus C bar plus 1 minus B y. Let's understand the straight line equation of a savings function, or what we call a linear savings function. S is equal to minus C bar plus 1 minus B y. S is savings, we all know. Y is income. Minus C bar is dissaving or negative savings. While discussing the consumption function earlier, we discussed the concept of autonomous consumption. And we know that autonomous consumption leads to dissaving because autonomous consumption is the consumption at zero level of income. Since the households do not have any source of income, therefore they will dissave. That is, they will either withdraw money from their past savings, or they will borrow, or they will sell their assets to maintain that minimum level of consumption for survival. 1 minus B is marginal propensity to save, MPS. It's the ratio of change in savings to change in income, and its formula is MPS is delta S upon delta Y. MPS is the slope of the savings function, and its value lies between 0 and 1. It is important to note that MPS cannot be greater than 1, since change in savings cannot be greater than change in income. At the most, change in savings can be equal to change in income. For the analysis, we are going to assume MPS to be constant, and therefore it will lead to a straight line savings curve or linear savings curve. MPS generally is between 0 and 1, but can take extreme values of 0 and 1. For high income groups, MPS can be 1 because for them, change in savings can be equal to change in income. Since their income levels are already very high and all their consumption needs have already been met, therefore, when their income increases, the entire increased income can go into savings without increasing the consumption level any further. For low income groups, in contrast, MPS can be 0 because for them, change in savings will be 0. That is, they will not be able to save anything out of their increased income. Since their income levels are very low and all their consumption needs are not met, therefore, their additional income goes into additional consumption. In fact, entire additional income can go into additional consumption and nothing is left to save. Generally speaking, MPS will be less than 1 because change in savings will be less than change in income. Let's understand the savings function with the help of a diagram. Let's draw the axes and label them. Income on the x-axis and savings on the y-axis, since we are studying the relation between income and savings. We draw the savings curve and label it as S, and next we mark the point of this saving as minus C bar. Let's define the saving curve. The savings curve shows the level of savings at each level of income. From the diagram above, it is easy to identify the features of the savings curve. The first feature is that it is upward sloping because savings is an increasing function of income. That is, as income increases, savings also increase. Second, it is a straight line because its slope, MPS, is constant. Third, the savings curve starts from the negative quadrant because savings can be negative at very low levels of income or at 0 level of income, what we call dissaving. Now here let me introduce a concept called the break-even point. The red star in the diagram above is the point where the upward sloping savings curve intersects the x-axis. And at this point, savings are 0. It is called the break-even point because 0 savings implies that income is equal to consumption. That is, Y is equal to C and nothing is saved by the households. So the households are breaking even. Whatever they are earning, they are consuming. This brings us to the end of the understanding of savings function and savings curve. If you have any doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. In case you found the video helpful, remember to press the like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel for more economics concepts and tutorials.